let's mother effing do this, man. Saturday night, we're live. Sorry, you're still there. Yeah, baby. Are you not entertained?
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know it was your turn.
Fuck you. Look at me.
Yes.
What's wrong with being sexy? I mean, there's no
Sex.
If these go to 11.
Does that mean it's louder?
Hey, welcome. Welcome, Saturday night. Saturday night. POPRAGEOUS Live. It's Saturday night. It's our third episode. We're young. Yeah, well, you know what? I moved out of Los Angeles. Took almost 2 years to get out of Los Angeles. Before you sell your business, before I had to tear down my studio, finally you get set up back again. And have you guys seen Zootopia? What? I mean, maybe not the movie, because it is raging. I mean, it is raging. I mean, the numbers are. I mean, it is kicking ass. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the first Zootopia. But I mean, those characters are adorable. I mean, they really are. They're adorable. If the script is in any way like the first one, I mean, Disney has a hit on their hands. Another hit. Oh my God! Like, they got plenty of. I mean, how many bad ones have they had? Everything in Marvel is basically shite. Everything at Star Wars is absolutely shite. They haven't even tried to put out a movie. It's just got kind of like threw in the towel along. Sean Levy, right? He is doing Star Wars Starfighter, and I don't know if you saw the news this just a few days ago. He said, "Oh, hold on a sec. What's going on there? What's Interesting. I just noticed that on mobile. What the hell's going on mobile, man? Well, that really. Can I fix that? Jeez, I'm sorry, guys. How in the heck am I supposed to fix that? Oh, that didn't work. Well, that really sucks. The whole mobile thing is like totally. Oh, hey, I fixed. I don't even know what I did. There is such a thing. Just keep hitting buttons. Just keep hitting buttons, and something good will come of it. Oh man! All right. You know what? So I use StreamYard, and they're changing the software. I don't know if any of you guys stream out there, but StreamYard is. Oh, I see what's going on. I know the problem. I got it. I'm in the know. Okay. Yeah. I will just do, and I got some of these things. I don't know, not an overlay, a background. Where's my background? I put a background in. No, it's not there. It disappeared. Fuck it. We'll do it live. So what was I on? Zootopia. I don't know if you saw the first one, but the Zootopia 2 I mean, the thing is, for what is this till Friday? 233 million worldwide. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Is that? My God, it is. Saturday, Sunday. This thing's going to break 300 million. The 300 million opening weekend. Granted, I mean, it's a great weekend to open up, right? Black Friday, Thanksgiving. Zootopia, but is that a Pixar picture that they picked up? But yeah, that is absolutely owning the box office. And then Wicked is doing pretty good still, but it's definitely losing steam. I don't know how much it's going to go down this this weekend. But if it drops 60%, you don't want a movie to drop over 60% on the second weekend, because that shows a lot of weakness. It is no bueno. It's no bueno, senor. Yeah, that is Zootopia. I don't know if I'm going to see it in theaters. I don't know if I'm, it's like one of these, because I don't know which movies I really want to review yet. I just got POPRAGEOUS fired back up. So it's one of these things where you can't review everything. Because I have a science channel I do as well. And because I really like to, as I'm also a screenwriter, and as a screenwriter, I write science fiction, I write horror, and I write fantasy. I don't write animation, so it's not in my wheelhouse, although just from a story perspective. It's, let's talk about stories perspective. If you guys watch Stranger Things yet, I don't know whether to applaud it or to boo it. So today we're going to review Stranger Things. I'm actually doing a full review, because doing a live review is much different than doing the, when you got your notes and you're able to write the notes. Doing it live is a little choppy in terms of getting all your thoughts across. But I'll tell you, so today I figured, okay, I'm going to watch all 4 episodes. And I loved the first season. Second season was kind of like, okay, meh. Third season, I think this was the third season that was a little better. The fourth one was meh. Nothing was as good as the first season. And I did not want to watch. I just didn't want to watch. Although, if I was going to watch anything of Stranger Things, I'd watch the first season again, right? At least I would do the first season. The first season was fantastic, especially like I'm a D&D guy. I grew up with Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a huge D&D collector. I got, all the like the white boxes from 1974, 77, 70, all the original, D&D books, not just like, the alphas, like the original ones that are worth big bucks. I love collecting D&D stuff, the old stuff. But so I had a Stranger Things day. And I was literally, it was not well written. It wasn't well written. Did you guys watch it? I'm like, but I get it. I get why people love it. People that the 4th episode got a 9.7 on IMDb. Again, I don't know. Do you applaud that, or you put like light laughs behind that? But I get why people who love Stranger Things, why they love Stranger Things. It's kind of like what I analogized it at. I was talking to someone this afternoon, one of my other screenwriter buddies, and I say I analogized it to like Doctor Who. Like Doctor Who was 6 decades. Disney got their paws on it. Now it's canceled after 60 years. Thanks, Disney. And it's kind of that's that science tech or those science shows where the special effects aren't particularly good at all, but it's the imagination, it's the story, it's those things that allow you to imagine greater things than what you see. So Doctor Who was never particularly, it didn't have great special effects. The stories were imaginative. And the only reason that I could think that Stranger Things season 5 gets the scores, I just didn't think. The plot is blocky. They use cliches. Things are made up on the spot to facilitate the plot into the next. The characters basically make no decisions. The entire plot makes a decision for every character. When you're writing a screenplay, these are literally things. These are no-no things. There's so many no-nos in there's so many characters. I don't even know the names. And when I was going online, I'm like, do I check IMDb to try and refresh the names? And I said, fuck it. There's so many characters. I don't even care. It's like David Arbor, the character that David Arbor plays, Hopper, right? Do you remember the first season? It was about 5 young boys. Now it's about 6 or 7 girls who are the secret to everything. And then at the end of it, we find out, oh, it's actually the one guy that's kind of the secret to everything. But we have the one girl, number 11, who is one of the girls who is the secret to everything, ends up finding an even bigger girl who is the secret to everything. It's like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, how many... I mean, this is Girl Boss TV at its freaking most mega. Right? This is mega Girl Boss. I think what they've determined that most of their audience is female, 60, 70% maybe. And they have got so many girl bosses. I mean, what's the girl with the shotgun? What was her name? The sister to, I mean, she weighs like 80 pounds, but she acts like she's 300, right? She's just she puts that, oh my God, some of that. Well, I mean, we'll talk more about it. I have never seen the U.S. military look so stupid, right? Have you seen the these guys are supposed to be special forces and they're running around like they're like the Burmese National Army or something. I mean, David Arbor is like, he's supposed to be, was he ex-special forces he's supposed to be? But he's running around outdoing guys half of his age that are like special forces present day. And I mean, and the Force, you might as well freaking call it Star Wars. Like number 11, like it's just like Darth Vadering everything. Like, holy, settle down. I mean, fuck, I'm shocked. I'm shocked at how sloppy season 5 is. But we're gonna get into Stranger Things. Stranger Things is pretty strange. You know, Sean Levy is part of the producer. He's the guy that's doing Star Wars Starfighter. He's one of the producers in this one, but I don't know. He didn't do any writing or anything like that. This is some pretty weak writing, but it's the power of the franchise, power of the characters. It's so powerful. Like, they can now put all these guys, all these boy characters into the background. Like, remember, it starts off with them playing D&D. I mean, the Demogorgon's supposed to be what in the monster manual? It's like 18 feet tall. You know, it's a demon of, you know, you don't want to meet the Demogorgon, but I mean, they're flower-faced creatures, and like, oh, geez, when the 46-year-old housewife almost kills one, and you're like, and the military guys, I mean, they're getting just wiped out. Like, oh my God, inconsistencies, and anyway. But you know who's having a bad month? Speaking of bad month, oh, Zack Snyder is having a bad month. He's actually having, I don't know if you guys seen, I wanted to do this because, I mean, they're just pounding on him. Or I was get this to the front here. I just thought this was, I was going to do a video on this, and I thought, you know what, I don't know if there's where if you guys saw Rebel Moon was two of the arguably the worst movies ever made. They were up there that required a Razzie Award. You had what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the characters slow motion graining. They're doing the grain thing in Rebel Moon. Oh my God. Yeah, I should time that laugh better. Rebel Moon, basically the first movie, what was it? All right, we got the laughs. Yeah. 2/3 of Rebel Moon was basically the characters going to find the characters. I mean, that was 2/3 of the first Rebel Moon. The second one, oh my God, the second one. And you totally, if you got those scripts and you go to like Disney Star Wars and you say, hey, I got some ideas for Star Wars, and you read these things and you're like, no, thank you. But maybe go to Netflix. Netflix might do it, and of course Netflix picks it up. But actually, he got a multi picture deal, right? Zack Snyder. So Zack Snyder, poor guy, he's just getting kicked right in the balls. Zack Snyder sees projects canceled at Netflix, making many wonder if the streamer is done with him. You know, there are some things that Zack Snyder is good at. He's good at fights. Like he did the best Batman fight scene in Batman v Superman, when Batman goes through the floor, and that Batman fight scene with Ben Affleck was the best ever. I mean, that was Batman kicking ass. But there are so many flaws in that movie. It wouldn't take much to fix it. And when he gets involved in the writing, that's when Zack Snyder dude, leave it to good screenwriters. You can read it. Maybe you shouldn't read it. Just let someone else rubber stamp the screenplay, and you just go make it. He should not. And 300, people ask about 300. So the thing about 300 was freaking awesome, right? The problem with 300 is that Frank Miller, he used the entire graphic novel as his storyboard. Literally, every picture caption was his storyboard. So when he went and actually made it, he had the whole thing plotted out. Every scene was plotted out. And then, of course, it was a great casting choice to bring on, what's his name, as Leonidas, Gerard Butler. And I mean, the other casting was fantastic. The mood was fantastic. It's like Zack Snyder hit his best. And then, I mean, some of the Snyderverse was okay. It was. Man of Steel wasn't the worst Superman. Actually, it was pretty good. I mean, casting for Superman, Henry Cavill was fantastic. I thought that Ben Affleck was good. Jason Momoa was good. So the casting was good. It was story. And again, they should have started with Batman. Why do you not start with Batman? James Gunn, why do you not start with frickin' Batman? Put Robert Pattinson off to the side. Batman is your frickin' world builder. That is your piece de la resistance. That is DC. Not Superman. Superman doesn't build worlds. Batman builds it. Batman does it. Jane, I don't know. And now we got Supergirl coming. Supergirl coming on, right? I mean, Superman, then Supergirl, then the creature dude or whatever. Like, I really hope Paramount does not buy Warner, because that is too much in one place. I think that would be. I would love to see David Zaslav just keep it independent. I think Warner without Discovery is a viable company. But I wouldn't. Yeah, we'll see. But so a pair of canceled projects following a series of failures lead some to believe that Zack Snyder is about to be cut loose by Netflix. Gonna cut loose. Let's go here. This past August, Netflix refused. Actually, this is stupid on his part. Listen to this. This past August, Netflix refused to fund his planned next film, an untitled cop movie set in Los Angeles. According to the Word of Real, Snyder wanted $100 million for the action film, which is close to $20 million more than either of his Rebel Moon sci-fi movies or two parts of the same movie. Dan Lin, the chairman of Netflix Films, they actually offered 75 to 80 million instead, but Snyder wouldn't budge. And then the film fell apart. Snyder is now making The Last Photograph, a thriller that will not be produced by Netflix. So basically, Netflix, after two bad movies, I mean, you should kind of think that, okay, you know what? I got to prove myself. It doesn't matter how many people streamed Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon is, dude, do you not watch your own work? No one wants to watch sweaty guys in black and white harvest grain for a half hour. I mean, do you not watch your story mechanics? introduction of the protagonist, your inciting incidents, your internal struggle. You're like, story mechanics are not easy. So as a screenwriter, I'm always so, and I won a lot of awards. I got some bragging rights. I've won hundreds of awards in film festivals around the world. I've never sold a screenplay because I've never wanted to. I didn't want my stuff to be turned into shit, like Rebel Moon, for example. But Netflix offers you 75, call it 80 million. They say 80 million for your movie. You better give us something that works because we're like, and Snyder says, no, I want 100. And so Netflix says, well, okay, well then, you know what? You can go pound sand, my friend, pound sand. Then Netflix canceled Snyder's animated series, Twilight of the Gods, about a human king and his half-human, half-Jotun girlfriend. A Jotun is a giant in Nordic mythos. I actually wrote a screenplay. One of my most winningest screenplays about it's pre-Viking. That's I loved writing about that stuff. Norse mythos, awesome stuff. But his was canceled. This follows a series of failed movies, especially all of the ones Snyder made for Netflix since signing a 2-year first look deal with the streaming giant in 2021. And Forbes draws a pattern. Now that seems to indicate that Netflix has had enough of Snyder. Well, jeez, thanks Forbes. I couldn't figure that one out, but thanks for the info, Forbes. That was really kind. Snyder's. I don't know if you guys saw this one. I haven't. Just the concept. Snyder's first film for Netflix with 2021's Army of the Dead, a heist movie set after a zombie apocalypse, something Snyder has been developing since 2007. Really? You've been developing that since 2007? Like Ocean's 11 with zombies? Like, what the fuck? Really? Boy, that's a good idea. And I'm not going to watch it. That's like 2 hours of your life when you watch a crappy movie. It's like watching 6 hours of Stranger Things season 5. You don't get it back. This led to a prequel called Army of Thieves, which takes place just as a zombie outbreak begins. The idea was to make a franchise out of a concept, but plans for subsequent films and an animated series were quietly canceled. Basically, he got the big bird from Netflix, probably in some sort of a, by the water cooler. Hey, Zach, come here. Yeah, go fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you. The idea was to make a franchise. Anyway, the concept was ridiculous. Then came Rebel Moon. The one thing about Rebel Moon and like Ahsoka, maybe not even so much Ahsoka, but the Acolyte, they are so bad, right? They are so bad that when you watch it, you actually hate watch it. And that hate watch is almost fun in a way because everything that you expected is coming true. So every time you watch an episode of The Acolyte, you're like, can this get any worse? How could this? And then you find out they spent $350 million putting it together. You're like, oh my God. Is it that easy to get cash at a Disney? But Rebel Moon, Snyder's sci-fi film based on a rejected concept he had for a Star Wars movie. Rebel Moon became a 2-part film that had both PG-13 and R-rated versions. I watched them all. Oh boy. No bueno, senor, no bueno. The latter of which Snyder admits was a struggle in the rap piece with a similar plan to branch out into a big franchise. I think he had 2 more movies in the Rebel Moon thing, and thank God there weren't 2 more movies with a similar plan to branch out. But this too was scuttled after poor response to the films Snyder had already produced. While Netflix did offer Snyder a reduced budget for the action movie, it's starting to look like Dan Lin has had enough of the DCEU architect. According to the word of Real article, Lin was unimpressed with Rebel Moon. Really? What was your first clue? Like, was it the quality of the piece, the writing, the storytelling, the casting? I don't think they. Oh yeah. According to the Word of Real article, Lin was unimpressed with Rebel Moon, and he didn't much care for the social media frenzy surrounding Snyder either. Combined with the apparent failure of the Army of the Dead franchise, Lin was not prepared to give Snyder another massive check. Well, he was willing to give 80 million bucks. Snyder's refusal to accept less money probably didn't do much to endear him to Lin either. Now Snyder is making a smaller film, The Last Photograph, but I don't think it's even funded somewhere else, and yet it's another movie that has been in development for over a decade. I don't even know. Like, what does that mean? You've been like working on the, you've been trying to get funding. Is basically what that means. You got a shit script, probably a treatment, and maybe some sort of no one wants to touch it. Is it a surprise? Shouldn't be. This appears to be a pared down version of the film as well, as it stars Stuart Martin and Free, two essentially, I was going to say unknown actors from Rebel Moon, who are a big step down in prestige and salary from The Last Photograph's original stars, Christian Bale and Sean Penn. But anyway, that's, we don't need to go deeper into that. That is Zack. Zack is not, Zack. Poor Zack. To Zack Snyder, may he find a home. But you know what? He'll probably get funded. Someone will fund his stuff. He probably should have accepted the 80 million, because the next one's probably going to be, his next funding's probably going to be a fraction out here. Do it for 50 million. The other thing that I found interesting, and I don't know about you guys. I get so sick. I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of the movie media. I'm sick and tired of Rotten Tomatoes. I'm sick and tired of IMDb. They basically delete low scores, right? They delete low scores if that low score includes certain words in the body of the, saying that they want to remove anything that's premised around the wrong type of review. But they won't do it for high scores. And of course, the media, the shill media is out there. Gone are the days where someone just watches a movie and they have I don't know if the word gravitas is probably correct here, but they have the gumption to just write, it's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. But it's like, does the studio contact the media? Well, they do. They contact the media. They have certain people. They probably get special access and maybe a few other things, wink kind of thing. And it's disingenuous. And then, of course, when it's like The Acolyte, when it's something is absolutely garbage, when the storytelling, the characters, and everything. I mean, I easily do a very technical breakdown as why The Acolyte is such terrible storytelling. Anyone who is I took screenwriting or creative writing in university and been a screenwriter. Anyone who knows story mechanics can go in there and literally rip it apart from a technical perspective. It's not that hard. If you know what you're talking about from that. But people have to understand, when they make something and people hate it, they hate it for a reason. Not because of what you included, not because you have a diverse cast. Oh, they're just racist and misogynist. That's why they hate it. Yeah, that's why they didn't like it. No, it couldn't have been the shit storytelling or the shit lighting or the shit camera angles or the shit everything else about your thing. It has to be something else. That way you can go to sleep at night saying, oh, my movie, it's always so good. And people only hate it for all the wrong reasons. I don't know. Like, when did this start? 10 years ago? 12 years ago? 2010? Right around the time of the smartphone. A lot of things changed right around the time of the smartphone. But it's really quite irritating. And there's this guy. How do I... oh, shoot. Oh, we got to move this over here. This guy, and this is just a clear example, and I wanted to just show an example of just the ridiculousness of this stuff. Should I do that one? I'll do that one. So here we have. This is actually an article about Predator Badlands, and so I was reading this thing. But Jason Statham appears, for the beekeeper. Jason Statham's $40 million sleeper hit overtaken by Predator Badlands at the box office. So of course, my first thought is, why are they related? Was it the same directors, same writers, same? Why is this Adam Blevins guy? Like, I'm telling you, Adam Blevins began working in the entertainment industry in 2022 as a staff writer for Agents of Fandom, where he progressed as senior editor and interviewed talent from Marvel Studios. All right. House of the Dragon and Planet of the Apes. He joined Collider as a news offer in April 2024, was promoted to a senior position, blah fucking blah. So anyway, he writes this article. I'm thinking, what's the connection between Badlands? And, some people love Beekeeper. It was a very basic, raw, straight on. There was nothing complicated about Beekeeper. It was Jason Statham doing what he does best. It wasn't a particularly great movie, but it was a great movie at the genre that was in. So he writes, Predator Badlands begins its fourth full weekend in theaters today. But over the Thanksgiving holiday this week, the film passed one of Jason Statham's most iconic action thrillers at the box office. At the time of writing, the newest Predator movie had grossed $79.3 million domestically and $83.5 million internationally, for a global total of $162.9 million. This $79.3 million in America is enough to push Predator Badlands past The Beekeeper, the 2024 Jason Statham actioner directed by David Ayer. That's why I checked. Was he David Ayer? Like, he has also overtaken The Beekeeper at the global box office with plenty of time remaining for its run. I'm like, okay, what's the connection? It's still a bit too early to tell if Predator Badlands is going to be a success, but it always goes. But it still has to go a way to go before it breaks even. It's got a long way to before it breaks even. The film reportedly cost $100 million to make, giving it a break even of around $200 million. This guy is a general idiot. It's not even close. It's going to be at least $300 million. At least $300 million. Always 50% for marketing, and I would say they probably spent more than 50% on marketing. Just call it 50%. So it's got 150 million. You split the revenue, the take with the theater, 50-50, and you get a 300 million break even. The Beekeeper only had was a $30 or $40 million budget, so it actually made money. So it actually made the studio probably $30-40 million maybe. But for some reason, this guy is comparing Predator Badlands to Beekeeper, and it makes no sense. And here's a guy who thinks that the production budget of 100 million and it only needs 200 million to break even. These guys, these writers at whether it's Collider, so many of these places, they have no idea what they're talking about. They've never been in the movie business. They don't even know the basic mechanics of the movie business, but they're paid to write the right kind of material for the studios. And then in turn, the studios gives these websites special access, special consideration, a lot of special treats, I'm sure, if they write the right articles. And I thought this is just one of those things. Predator Badlands is cratering. That's a movie that's probably, so the budget is 100, so it needs 300 million at the box office. If it does 200 million, it's going to lose 50 million at minimum. Predator Badlands. At minimum, it's going to lose 50 million bucks. But the media, I tell you, man, this media, there's no connection whatsoever between Jason Statham's Beekeeper and Predator Badlands. No connection. There's nothing. So it just drives me crazy. The film media, and that includes IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, who manipulate the scores. You can't have scores too low, or you cannot like a movie for the wrong reasons. So if you make a review for one of the movies and you put some of the wrong keywords in, AI basically goes and takes your review off of IMDb, which gives a much higher score. But the fact, anyway, it's I hate the media. The media sucks, you know. There was a time where people would just go do reviews and they would honestly say, you know, here's why I hate it, or here's why I don't like it, yada, yada, yada. So, oh, guys. So here we are. We are on, Stranger Things. Stranger Things. Season 5. So today I was like, you know, so on Saturday when I started this about 3 weeks ago. This is the third live broadcast for POPRAGEOUS, so I'm just firing it back up. And so basically on a Saturday morning, it's like, okay, well, what are you gonna talk about for an hour or two? You gotta have something relevant. You can't just, you know, sit there and smile for. Well, I thought, well, Stranger Things is obviously. I mean, I've been watching, trying to get through The Witcher. The Witcher is absolutely. Yeah, The Witcher is absolutely painful. Yeah, Witcher is. But I thought, well, we did Witcher last week, so, you know, I can touch on Witcher next week, maybe finish it off. And but it's kind of becoming, look, something that bad. Witcher is so bad, it's kind of like, just leave it in the garbage. Yeah, right? Leave it in the garbage. That's so. But Stranger Things, season 5. And of course, being a screenwriter, I always approach everything. I always watch it from the perspective of being a screenwriter or being a director, taking what would be on the paper or on script and then creating the story from it. You know, what is the story needs to convey a compelling relationship between the antagonist and the protagonist. In this case, season 5 of Stranger Things, I don't even know how many flippin' characters there are. If you remember in season 1, we had 5 guys playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's all we had, right? 5 guys playing Dungeons and Dragons. And now these 5 guys are basically relegated to, you know, stay in the background. We've got 6 or 7 girls that are the secret to everything that this is about. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, that, you know, but at the end we kind of find out that one of the guys happens to be the secret of everything himself, just as one of the girls who is the secret to everything finds another girl who is a bigger secret to everything. It's one of the worst things that any TV show can do. It's one of the worst things, because what you do when you have so many characters, the dilutive effects of having all of these characters, you need to keep them busy. You need to give them a relevance within the story. So you have 20, 25 cast members, and they all need to have a space within each episode. They need to have a task. And I think a lot of these tasks are redundant. They're basically, you're watching so many characters do so many different things, and you're like, well, which one am I supposed to be the most concerned with? It is so diluted. It's so diluted. You've got all these characters going in different directions. You don't really know which ones. Obviously, number 11 and Hopper are going to be 2 of the most important ones. I got to punch up the IMDb on IMDb Stranger Things. No, not Stranger Things season 5, Stranger Things season 4. No, I want 5, not 4. I mean, okay, IMDb, there it is. So where are we here? Oh, that's Rotten Tomatoes. Stranger Things, IMDb, man, come on. Episode list, season 5. Yeah, I mean, but what is amazing to me, season 5, episode 4, which is the Sorcerer, looks like it has some mid-season, finale, in the sense that it's going into a sort of the second half of the chapter, the final 4 episodes that is going to close off the Or there might be a season 6. I wouldn't, I don't know. But it has a 9.7 out of 10. It has a 9.7 out of 10. Where is it here? There it is. 9.7 out of 10. And this is a show, this is a season, and they even threw a lesbian relationship in there, right? And you're wondering, why is there a lesbian relationship in there? Nothing happened except like 2 or 3 conversations. Like, it's such a forced in B story. You really had to, you put a lesbian relationship in there just to appease. I know why it was, because that little section of the Hollywood, because they want Stranger Things season 5 to have a lot of awards, right? At Oscar time. And if you don't have your gay relationship, you're not gonna. So you just throw it in there, right? You got to have your. So they have that forced in lesbian relationship, which, whatever, it's just one of those things that makes season 5 just look stupid. Like it doesn't flow. Like it's like you have so many shiny things going on in season 5. You don't even know what to focus on. The plot, it's weak, it's blocky. Like you go from one plot point to the next, and the episode makes up whatever it needs to in that scene to make it go into the next scene. It's like there's a MacGuffin, or there's like some sort of realization. It's like, oh my God. I mean, one of their great ideas, which is absolutely mind-boggling to me, because they're in the hospital, because what's her name's mother was attacked by one of the Demogorgons, and they want to go see their mom, who is just 2 hours out of almost being killed. She's 2 hours out of surgery, should be in the ICU, but they want to go see her and talk to her because they need information. So they go and dress up as a nurse and a patient. Wow. Never thought of that one in a hospital, right? So, I mean, it's really weak. Like so many of these things that they do, it's really, really weak. The idea of dressing up as a nurse to disguise yourself in a hospital is not really innovative. And then, but your mother just got out of surgery 2 hours ago. She's basically near death. But they just walk into a room and say, hey, Mom, I know you can't talk, but can you write the answer? And that happens all the time. That happens everywhere. Everywhere. It's so pervasive that you can have an endless amount of examples to show how bad the plot points are in season 5. But here's the thing. The thing is, and this is what the power of season 5 is that people who love season 5, people who love Stranger Things, they're not in it for the plot or the great storytelling. They're in it for that Doctor Who kind of a feel, right? They're in it because of the imagination about the whole concept of being in the 1980s, the whole concept of Vecna, the whole concept of Upside Down, the whole concept of what's going on, and the characters who were basically, especially in the first season, people learned to love these characters. And you couple that with that Doctor Who, this was not a well-written season. But the fans of Stranger Things, they love it. They love it. I mean, 9.7 on one episode. In that episode, there was so much plot armor. Not one main character was killed, and every special forces soldier was killed. Not one character. Which I mean, I've never seen U.S. Special Forces look so stupid. I mean, if you were in the Army, if you were a Green Beret, or you were, anyone, Marine, whatever, it doesn't matter what you were, and you see this, it is absolutely ridiculous, There's no tension. There's nothing from a story perspective that makes you think or makes you scared or concerned that these characters are like in the first season, you felt it. Like you felt like it was kind of eerie, right? There was kind of there was a creepiness to it. You didn't know what was going on. And we were slowly learning about the antagonists. We were learning about these young boys who are now just background characters to the 6 or 7, women that are basically fronting this whole story now, which basically tells you that, yeah, you know what, probably the majority of the viewers of this film or this TV series of Stranger Things are female. So, which is why the guys have all taken a back seat, and which is fine, because I mean the popularity of season 5 is absolutely insane, but it's not that well written. It is not a well written season 5. It's got to be the worst of the five seasons. I mean, these 4 episodes. I mean, it was so stupid that she puts that tracker thing into the shotgun, and from the shotgun she shoots a tracker made of glass with electronic components. And it sticks in the in the Demogorgon, but it doesn't break. It works. Like, oh my God, where are you? Fuck, are you? It's absolutely asinine, the things that they do. Absolutely asinine. I mean, the girl. Yeah, it's the Demogorgon. They had to make. This was they showed it twice. The fact that the mother was defending the child, and in one case, when the mother took the broken beer bottle and stabbed the Demogorgon, almost kills it apparently. Like, you're like, are you serious? You want us like? There's so many stupid little points. But again, that's the thing about Stranger Things. The true fandom, which is pretty big, forgives this season for all of its inconsistencies, for all of its terrible screenwriting, for all of its terrible plot points, its lumpy, ridiculous things that happen. But they want this ridiculous, right? It's like Doctor Who. They want the ridiculous. Fans of season, but at the end of the day, this is a poorly written season. It's a really, really bad. I was happy when it was over. When at the end of episode 4, when I watched it today, I was just glad that it was over. It was, for me, it was painful to watch. My butt got sore on my own couch watching it. I mean, that's when you know things are really bad, right? And it's almost like it's kind of a repeat. Now you got Vecna again, and it's kind of like a regurgitated same story. Okay, we've seen the Vecna thing. It's a little bit like Quiarch, what's his name in Avatar, which is great that on Fire and Ash they've got the new antagonist coming, because it's you got to move things around. But they didn't. They kind of kept everything the same. It's basically all the same characters, the same protagonists, same antagonists, just sort of in a slightly different situation, coming together for a new season because they want to milk the cow, right? Nothing really new is going on. Now it's kind of like weapons. They're after the kids, right? They're after the kids. The military is trying to save the kids. The military look like just a bunch of retards. I mean, there's tunnels underneath the entire complex, but the military doesn't have enough gumption to do some seismic readings underneath because they're trying to find the upside down. Don't you think they would find the tunnels underneath? I mean, the kids are like 30 feet away from the walls of the military complex, but yet these stupid. So the military has no surveillance. Apparently they do, because I think it was in episode 2 they pulled the surveillance in a 10-mile radius. Well, why didn't they catch the kids sitting up in a tree spying on them from 20 feet away? There's so many inconsistencies. I didn't like the 4th episode, the finale, because again, the plot armor was egregious. It was no main character dies. I mean, that's the mantra. Every main character must stay alive. And of course you have no tension because you're not scared that there's no concern that any character is going to die. There could be bullets flying everywhere. They'll run through it. It's like, okay, well, I mean, so it relieves the tension. If one of them would die somewhere at some point in time, you would finally say, oh, okay, main characters do die in Stranger Things, but they don't, which is what made Game of Thrones a great series, because you didn't know who was going to die. In what episode? I mean, you could have main characters die, obviously, in the Red Wedding. That keeps the tension in every episode. But when your main characters go through a hail of bullets, nothing happens to them. Like I say, this is. It has a 9. The fourth episode in season 5 has a 9.7. A 9.7. I would have given it a 6. A 6. And that's only because I know the characters and I kind of like the series. But this season is nothing like the first season. This is, it almost feels, I was almost going to call it season 8 of Game of Thrones, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's not that bad, because the fandom is getting what they want. The fandom is getting more Upside Down. The fandom is getting more Vecna. The fandom is getting exactly what it wants. Just like Doctor Who fans, you don't watch Doctor Who for the special effects. You don't watch Doctor Who for the great plot points. You watch it because the imagination and the characters and the concepts compel you, is what excites you. In season 5, it's the same thing. It's the Doctor Who syndrome. The plot is bad. The characters, I mean, the dialogue, the characters, the tension they use is characters getting angry at each other. That's not tension. Characters constantly getting angry at each other is not tension. And what's the little guy? He got beat up by the jocks. Still don't know why. How did that even help the story or the plot? But he got beat up by the 4 jocks and had a bloody face for, he was missing for an entire episode. Is something going to happen into this final 4 episodes with that? Because it had nothing to do with anything. It was like the lesbian relationship. It had nothing to do with anything. The only reason it had to be there is for Oscar nominations. Because basically you cannot get an Oscar nomination without some sort of a gay relationship in the story. Or it's much harder to. And you put a little, lesbian relationship, again, which had no bearing on what happened. Didn't have to be there, but they put it in. Okay, well, that's fine. And are they going to introduce more characters in the second half? Because I don't know. I also, being a screenwriter, I mean, you got to fill all these characters in with something to do. They got to be out there doing something within the story, hopefully. I mean, you got to cut half of those characters out. Half those characters don't even have to be in there. But I mean, the cliches, the basic tropes that they use. I mean, guys, I got so many notes. I'm actually working on the actual review. The cartoonish, I'll put down cartoonish military, incompetent, cartoonish. The exposition. I forgot about the exposition. The constant. Max in the 4th episode, we were like, it was like 30 minutes of, let me tell you what's happening, instead of going through and showing what's happening. I'll tell you what's happening, because what's her name? Holly? Is that the young one? Holly gets and there's so many little things that they try and equate with the 80s, the Tiffany, the cake and bake set, the what else is there with the 80s? And I guess that works because nostalgia, 80s nostalgia, people like it. And you throw that in with a TV show that actually happens in the 1980s, it helps. But look, Stranger Things, the fans of Stranger Things will support this show as long as conceptually the writing could be terrible, the plot can be absolutely horrendous. The story can be lacking. There could be plot armor for days on end, but the fans of this show will love it infinitum, I think. The writers or directors, everyone who puts the show together would have to do a really bad job. A really bad job for the fans not to show up, because it is almost, I don't want to say cult-like in a negative way, but it's cult-like in a positive way, right? It's kind of like the Matrix, and there are so many little tropes taken from other movies. They use the term flux capacitor. They're kind of, they're taking member berries from other TV shows and they're kind of mixing it in. The villain Vecna is basically, just a lot of talk, not a whole lot going on except for like the Demogorgons running around, the flower heads. They got the petal faces. There's no central theme. There's no emotional spine to it. There's no central spine that to the entire story that keeps everything connected to a central focus. It's scattered. The whole thing is scattered. It's a problem to the point where even if you go to IMDb, like if you go, let's take season 5, episode 4. Season 5, episode 4. If we go, look at some of the user reviews. So so look at some of these user reviews, and you really get a good idea how fanatical, in a positive way, not in a negative way. Hate that it took so long, but but this was worth it. It was. For me, it wasn't. Will is in danger. Duh. Will is in danger. 10 out of 10. Okay. The Sorcerer has risen. Loved part 1. Spellbinding. Will the Wise. These are all 10s. We're in for the ride. Normally, like some of the 10s, the smashing of 10s that you see in a movie review, I chalk it up to a lot of the crew, which are expected to go on and put a 10-star review. 10, absolutely phenomenal. But at the end of the day, it wasn't. But you could see 70 found it helpful, 10 found it unhelpful. 10 out of 10, an episode that felt like a movie. Bad movie. The only reason, like I say, the only reason it was good is because they built such a solid fan base in this TV series. An unimaginably powerful fan base. Powerful. Because these first 4 episodes were incredibly poor writing. Incredibly poor. But that also could be, like I say, that could also be part of the mystique. It keeps it to basic blocky concepts, which are fairly easy to understand, fairly easy to... they're consistent with the expectations of the fan. There's a few little new things that happened, new sort of concepts that find their way into the story, but there's nothing that's outstandingly, like the first season where everything felt brand new. It's like the first John Wick. It was awesome. Every John Wick after that just wasn't as good as the first one, which happens often, right? That happens often. And I think it's the same thing with Stranger Things. 10 out of 10 is a 9 out of 10. Emotional fist, terrifying when needed, heroic when timed, cinematic and crap. It's 10, another 10, another 10, another 10, another 10, 10. It really is. You look for the ones. There were some ones. You cried? Come on. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. I'm looking for a 1. There were some 1s in here. The final conflict with Vecna, there really wasn't anything scary about it. Like there was no tension. You already knew that they all had plot armor. Even when like 3 of them had the Demogorgons that was about to swipe them, you knew something was going to happen because 3 of the main characters weren't going to die. They enjoy killing a lot of other characters, like NPCs, right? They love killing the NPCs. The military, I've never seen such incompetent military. Look at it, it's all 10s. It's just all freaking 10s. It makes you think, are they deleting the 1s? 6 out of 10. Starting to smell like Game of Thrones final season. I made that analogy, right? I was going to make that analogy. I thought, well, you know what? It wasn't quite that bad. Like I said, because of the lore, if you like Stranger Things, you're probably going to like this Yes, a parody of what Stranger Things used to be. Yeah, yeah. Oh, here's one. This is a laughable parody, nothing else. This is how you destroy a season. Great acting for some, but horrible ending. I don't know if the acting was particularly great in any case. It was effective, and it wasn't bad to the point where it hurt. It wasn't great, but they were all in character. The character were doing things exactly as you expected them. They had they huffed and puffed when they needed to. The girl bosses were girl bosses all the way through, all the way through. It's a girl boss movie, and this is what went as five guys playing Dungeons and Dragons. This is now. And we got a new girl boss at the very, very end because number 11 went to and found that the diverse female superpower girl. Is she more powerful than William? I don't know. But now we have, they introduced another girl boss. How many, this is going to be, I don't know, guys. One, boring. Yeah, well, it's the 10s in here. We can go on. There's a 5 review mid-season Stranger Things 5 and the art of poor retrofit. Yeah, yeah. But look at people this is like going against the grain, and 126 disagree, 41 find it helpful. Anything that isn't like a 9 or a 10 gets absolutely ratioed by the lovers of this of this franchise. I mean, if you find out, where's a 1? Let's find another 1. 7. Look at it, absolutely ratioed. 10 out of 10. 10. 10. Oh, some of the 10s are ratioed. But I mean, the 10s are insane, and almost there's so many of them though. You know it's genuine, right? There's see, here's a 1 out of 10. Way overrated. It is overrated to the average person. To the lover of this franchise, it's right on. It's right on. You do not want this to be the first season you watch, because I think after watching this, you'd be like, what? I don't really. But a 1 out of 10 look at the ratio, 10 to 1, right? 10 to 1. The best episode of Stranger Things, best episode of my life. Like what? That guy's hyperbole. So anyway, that is. I disagree. I don't think it was a great season. I like the other seasons much more, like the first one. But people who love this show, the way that the way this character survived felt cheap. It felt orchestrated, like they were going, like the characters were just going through the motions. There didn't seem to be. Normally, you want each scene, the plot to be moved forward based on the decisions the characters make. The plot was making all the decisions for the characters, which makes things there's no tension, right? You want to have a character make decisions, and as they make a decision and fail, make another decision and failed, and then the antagonist is just kicking their butts on every turn, and finally they figure something out that allows them to turn the tables, and that turns into your climax. But still, you want the antagonist to be so powerful. Without death in a TV show like this, you lose everything. You lose the tension. When every 25, you have 25 main characters, and not one character, not even the mom and dad, are going to die. They're going to survive. They got attacked by a Demogorgon, and even they won't die. No one dies. No one dies except the NPCs. The NPCs, and if you've got an army, if you're army or military or special forces, in Stranger Things, you will die. You will die. If you're a girl boss, oh no, you will not. No. It's a girl boss. It's a girl boss TV show. They're making it for the girl, and that's fine if that's your audience and you're kicking, and they are kicking ass. They're getting views. If you're Netflix, you're happy. You're very, very happy. So, but anyway, I'm going to do a much more in-depth review of Stranger Things on a recorded basis. This live version is I just basically wanted to go through things like the repetitive story beats, the terrible pacing. The pacing is just like, it's okay to go up and down. You want things. You want a little bit of pauses. You want rest. You want people to reevaluate. You want this. It's not. It's just. It's Stranger Things on like ephedrine, They did the ephedrine, aspirin, and coffee stack, and then they juiced up. You never get a rest. You never get a rest. Girl bosses everywhere. Girl bosses. I mean, that is to go from a bunch of girl bosses and then at the very, very end of it to find another uber superior girl boss. Okay, I guess we'll have to see the next 4 episodes to see how powerful this new girl boss is going to be. So anyway, that's all I'm gonna spend on this. I made a lot of note. I'm working on the notes for the recorded review on POPRAGEOUS, but to do it live is it's always a bit of a challenge because it feels a little blocky when you're trying to get through the points. It's not like when you write a script and reviewing something, you can go back and change it and this and that and put the exact words that you wanted to put in. But yeah, that is it. We're going to leave it at that for the show this evening, guys. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back next Saturday for POPRAGEOUS Live. It's Saturday night. Next week, I don't know what we're going to do next week. But we'll probably touch on a little bit of news and we'll Zootopia's kicking it. Zootopia it's going to break 300 million for, but you know what? Those characters are freaking adorable in Zootopia. They really are. It's a Disney one. Not a Disney fan, but Zootopia. I won't see Wicked. I have no desire to see Wicked in the theaters. I'll watch it streaming. I don't even want to do a review. I'm a science fiction writer. I write science fiction, fantasy, and horror. Zootopia. If I'm bored one night, I will go out and I'll go watch Zootopia. Because the characters are freaking adorable. I love adorable characters. Not a huge fan of animation. But when the animation hits home and it works, Zootopia could easily be one of those. And obviously fans are saying yes. They're saying yes to Zootopia. Anyway, guys, that will end today's show. And we will see you next week. And I'll have a couple of videos out next week, probably 3 or 4 videos next week on POPRAGEOUS. And I hope you have an awesome weekend. Merry Christmas. Happy Cyber Monday shopping. And we'll see you in a few days. Ciao. Let's mother effing do this, man. Saturday night, we're live. Oh, sorry. You're still there. Yeah, baby. Are you not entertained?
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know it was your turn.
You. Look at me.
Yes.
What's wrong with being sexy? I mean, there's no...
Sex.
It's these go to 11.
Does that mean it's louder?